Hello everyone, good evening to one and all. So today I'm going to go through the Photoshop second lesson of our classes. So when we talk about the Photoshop today, the most important thing I just want to concentrate is on the menu bar. Yesterday we were been continually speaking about we were been continuously speaking about the menu bar orally, but though we had some technical error yesterday. So we were not able to finish our menu bar practically. So today I'm also going to show you where exactly the menu bar in the Photoshop lies and how exactly the Photoshop menu bar is going to be useful for every categories of editings. So this is what you have to remember every time whenever I speak about the Photoshop. So yes, in the Photoshop, when you open the Photoshop, you have to have a minimum and a maximum idea about the menu bar, because when you don't know about the basic level of software, you can't really go forward and start editing in the Photoshop. So now let me show you what is menu bar and how exactly the menu bars looks like. So if you can see the screen here, this is the menu bar. So when I speak about the menu bar, the menu bar starts with file, and in file we have new, open, browse, open as, import. This is also important, save, save as, revert, import, export, and then print is always important. So these are the one of the few most used options. For example, new is to create a new one. This is Control plus N, as I already have said you, and then we have open, Control plus O, which is actually used to open an image or open a work file. Then browse is nothing but you can directly browse from Photoshop as well. And then we have open as, that means you wanted to open in any of the formats. If you can open PDFs or GIFs or anything you can recently open through. And open recent is nothing but whatever you have opened recently, you actually can open here. And if you have done some work, you can activate the save and save as will be activated. So I'll show you once again. So I have taken a new tab, I had create something, and then I give a color for that, and then I unroll it, and then I'll put another one, and then again all it I have. So this is what I have done for as of now. So what I'll do, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the thing, I actually gonna do it. Okay, so always remember, so this is what we can basically do. I'll take a new layer and then create another box. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and then reduce it to the next level. Okay, so we are going to create another one, we are going to create the other one, we're going to create the other one. So the next one is, again, I'm just going to put some more, because just to make a wallpaper or something we can just do it. Okay, and then I'll reduce some more and some more, and then what I'll do, I'll jet and put this. There is a kind of wallpaper. In fact, I will increase the opacity and radius of fill. Okay, so yes, this is a kind of something that we have done, you know, a little bit darker, darker and more darker. So now if I can see file, you have the save option, you have the save as option. These got activated, isn't it? Before, when I have shown you, these two were not there, and as well export was not there, and then the prints, you know, the page setup and the print and everything was deactivated, you know. I'll show you. So this is what we can do, you know. This is the most important thing that you have to remember. So when I speak about the menu bar, guys, you know, when I speak about the menu bar, what do we have in the menu bar, you know? What I'll do, I'll close this. I'll show you because we are not able to see. So I'll show it to you in the max format. So I'll show you what is a menu bar. So this is the menu bar. Okay, so here we have the first one. You know, whenever I speak about the menu bar in Adobe Photoshop, this is called the menu bar. Whatever options you have here, this is the menu bar. So the first one is file, the second one is edit, the third one is image, the fourth one is layer, the fifth one is select, the sixth one is filter, the seventh one is view, the eighth one is window, and the last one is help. So when I start with the file, as I have shown you, we have these options. I'll also make a thing for you, but I'll just show you in one of the paints, or you know, so that you will clearly get explained to you. Okay. Okay. So I'll show you here. See, in file we actually have new, open, browse. If you can see in the Photoshop, when I open the Photoshop for you, when I open to the file, you are not able to see all this. So that's why I am actually going to open this in a new tab. Okay, I'll open it for this. So in Adobe Photoshop, you have file, and in the menu bar, in Adobe Photoshop, in the menu bar, and we have the first one as file, and in the file, the first one is new. That is, the shortcut for that is Ctrl+N, and we'll also listen on how exactly we are going to open it. We're going to see how exactly this works. This is going to be practically shown for you. So I'll go to the Photoshop, I'll press Ctrl+N. So right after I have pressed the Ctrl+N, we got an option, right? So this is the option that we have. So I will maximize this for you. This is loading. Yeah. So in the maximize button, you know, okay, in the new tab, we have name. That means you can actually name the work file. You can name it as project alpha. So I have named the project as project alpha, and then I put the preset size as 1024 by 768. It's a good resolution in fact. So I'll open it. So this is a new tab that we are working with. Okay. So these are the options that we have from the Control plus N option. So yeah, the first one is Control plus N, and we have seen how to actually open a new tab. To open a new tab, you just have to go to the workplace, Control plus N. Obviously, you will get the tab, and then you just have to click the OK to get this kind of tab. So we have learned how to open a new tab. So now I will show you what is this next one, that is open. Okay. This is open. How to open? So here I am going to show you how to open a file. So Control plus O. So right after I have pressed the Control plus O option, we have so many things, you know, we are going to get the access to open an image from your computer. So if the image is saved at a particular location, you can go to that particular location and open that image. If not, I'll just show you any of the image. Okay, we'll go to desktop. If we have any images here, no, we don't have any image. So I'll just save an image. Okay, so I'll go for Google. I'll go for Google, and then I'll download an images. Let's put high resolution images or wallpapers, and then after coming to the wallpapers, I'll download any of the image. Okay. Okay, so this is not going to happen, right? So we are going to an image in the new tab. Very nice, right? So save image as. So now I'll save this at pictures, and then I'll save it here. Okay. So now I'll open the Photoshop, and I'll go to the place where I have saved. I have saved in my pictures. So here is my image, and I'll open it. See? So I have opened an image, right? So you can basically increase it, you can work on the pixels, you can so this is what we have been doing. So whenever I speak about the Photoshop, guys, so Photoshop is one of the most important things that you have to remember, because Photoshop is all about working on the high resolution images. So this is what, you know, always try to download a good resolution images. This is a very good resolution image, you know. In fact, the clarity is not missing. If you can see, the clarity is really not missing, right? The clarity is not missing. Very nice. Always try to work on this kind of images. Okay. All right. So now we will go to the menu bar. So when I speak about the menu bar, the first option is to create a new tab. And then the second one is open a new image or open a work file, and then browse, shift plus control plus O. Here the option is already given. So now I'll do the same here. Shift plus Control plus O. So I can browse this image from the internet as well. Okay, so I don't require this, so probably I will just close it. Okay, nice. So now I'll take you with the menu bar again. So open as, Alt plus Control plus O. I'll also do that here. Alt plus Control plus O. So this is the same as open, but you can get any format. If you can see, in open we don't get these many options, but in open as we get all these options. You can import any of it. You can import Photoshop PSD file, BMP file, GIF files, Photoshop EPS files, and you have versions in DCSS, and then you have JPEG format, you have generic PDF format, you have PCX format, you have Acrobat format, you have Photo CD and PICT and Pixar and PNG and RAW. RAW is one of the best things that basically Photoshop guys work on, because when you take a picture in camera, obviously few of the big pictures or few of the best photographers put the put the image format in RAW, because it will be very nice, and it will be into the highest resolutions as well. So that is why it will be in RAW. So if you have Photoshop in your house, you can also work on the RAW files. You have Taga, you have TIFF, and you have Bitmap as well. Bitmap is for animators, animators who ever do texturing, working on color, they work on Bitmap. This is to just put the colors in a correct format. So this is to open any kind of format in the Photoshop. So that is very well working on Photoshop, isn't it? So whenever I speak about Photoshop, guys, Photoshop is one basic important thing that you should remember on what I can import and what I should not. Guys, I'll tell you what, when I say I should not import something in Photoshop, I'm talking about the low resolution images and few unsupported formats. There are few unsupported formats, especially when your computer is hit with the virus, or when your computer is affected through the virus. If you are importing any of the unsupported formats into the Photoshop, basically there are chances of your Photoshop getting hanged, because Photoshop is a software which is basically used to edit the high resolution images. When the Photoshop is being actually using all the power of the system, or when the entire system is worked only on the Photoshop, if you put, or if you download, or if you import any of the unsupported formats into the Photoshop, there might be chances of your Photoshop getting thrashed. That means your Photoshop will corrupt. That means your Photoshop will not work, or whatever works that you have been working on the Photoshop, that might be totally crashed. So better watch before you import or export the kind of format files into the Photoshop. So this is the main caution report that I just want to tell you before we go ahead and look at the other options in the menu bar. So now let us see the menu bar here again. So the menu bar, the another option that we have is close, save, save as, save for web, revert. Close is nothing but closing the entire work, and save is Control plus S to save whatever you've been doing. Save as is again something that you want to save in a different kinds of formats. Save for web is also the same. You can also save the file directly to the web, and then revert. I suggest you to go through this very carefully, because these are the most important things. We have import, export, work group, automate, file info. Very much important. And then we have page setup, that is shift plus control plus P, print with preview, print one copy. So all these are the options that we have in the initial stage of the menu bar. So I'll show that in the Photoshop for you. So whenever I hit the file, so these are all the options that we have got. So now these are all activated, if you can see the save button. So I'll also show you how to save it. Once I put the save button, it will ask me to it will ask me a few options how I actually want my file to be saved as. So my file, I want it in the large file, and I want a basic baseline in the standard format. So I am putting OK for it, and then now there's going to be a new tab which is going to be open. For example, if I say Control S, or once I put save as, always this is just to save as, and then if you put the save as option, the save as option is going to give you the location where you want to save as, and also the format which you want to save as. So for example, if I am putting JPEG, and then I will save as work file number 1. Now I'll get that tab. See, the large file I want to save, and all and all and all. So again, if I want to save as control shift plus S, we get this tab again. So if you want to save this file as PSD, you can save it as PSD. So now I'll close off the entire Photoshop. Okay. So now I'll minimize it. I'll go for pictures, and I have PSD file. So once I hit or drag it and drop it here, I get the entire file here. It's really nice, right? So I'll show you again. This is the PSD file that we have been working with. So yes, the PSD file is also been downloaded. So you can see the next option, that is import. If you have a PDF image or annotations, and or if you want to get something from wire support, you can actually get all these three, and you can import it to the workspace, and you can start editing in the Photoshop. These are the two options actually highly professional candidates do. If you want to import an image, or if you want to import your resume into the PDF format, I mean your resume is in PDF format and you want to edit that in Photoshop. So you can import the PDF as an image, and then you have export. You have paths to Illustrator. If I click this, you'll get what kind of thing I want to edit and what type of format I can edit. So all these are the options that you have to export the file. So import and export is also few of the best options that you have in the Photoshop by default. And then work group, you have different kinds of, because work group is nothing but if the same Photoshop, if the same interface is being used by 2 or 3 people. For example, if you take this Photoshop to the high-end level, there will be 2 to 3 to 4 people working on the same workspace. That means me, my friends, and my best friends all are going to work on the same interface, but into different systems. I mean 5 people using the same file, you can then use as a work group. You can save as, you can check out, you can log off all the servers. That's what, see, different kind of servers. And then automate is again few of the great options that you have in the Photoshop, which can be useful whenever you're working in the big companies, and then whenever you are working with all the high imaginary files, or if you're downloading more than, or if you're importing more than 1000 files at a one place and then want to edit on that, you can basically use this automate button. And then you have file info button, which is very much important when you are working with Photoshop. So this will help you out in understanding the information about the file. For example, if I click this file and then go to the file and then go to the file info, I'll get the I can actually put whatever I want, and then when I go back and put the file info, you know, the information about the file will come to this. You know, I can put all this information and then pass on to the next level. These are all options that you have, which nobody uses it, but knowing about them is not a mistake, right? So that is why we are knowing about all these. You know, I think everybody know what is a print option. Print option is nothing but to get out the get the output onto a page, or the printout of an option to take it through it. So these are the few options that you have when I speak about the Photoshop. So these are the best options, and this is the startup. These are the startup options that you should remember. And whenever I speak about the Photoshop file bar, you know, whenever I speak about the menu and then in the menu the file, when I speak about the file, these options are mandatory to learn, because these options will put you into the pro level, that is a professional level. Whenever you are working in a professional level, you will not be explained about the basics of the Photoshop. They will just give you the work file and tell you to work on it. So you have to be thorough with all the basics and the intros of the Photoshop, especially the menu bar when I am talking about the Photoshop. So now let us see the last option in the Photoshop menu bar, file. So this is one of the biggest options that we have, that is exist. Exit is one of the best options that we have in the Photoshop. So whenever I speak about the exit option, Control plus Q, that means, you know, I'll show Control plus Q is nothing but, do you want to save the file or not? If I say yes, it will save. If I say no, the entire Photoshop is closed. So this is what is an option that you should always remember. So once I put enter again, the Photoshop 7.0 opens with the PDF file that I have saved. So these are few of the options that you have to remember when you're working on Adobe Photoshop 7.0. So when I speak about Adobe Photoshop 7.0, guys, my friends, always remember file menu is one of the basic start menu bar in the Photoshop, which gives you lot of options to work on with and to remember. Especially Control N, Control O, Control S are the three basic options that you should remember every time, because without opening a file, you can't edit. Without creating a new tab, you can't work on the Photoshop. Without saving the file, you can't actually work on the Photoshop. There's no use of working on the Photoshop when you don't save the file. So these are the these are the amazing tips that I can give you. So always try to put on practice the shortcuts of the Photoshop, and as well make sure you keep practicing. And you know, it's always these two fingers that have to be on the keyboard. Whenever I speak about the two hands on the fingers, this little finger have to be on Control and Shift. You know, you should keep rotating this little finger on Shift and Control, and the rest of the options should be on the left side options, that is A, Q, S. We have Z, X, C and all. You can basically work with all the four fingers, and these is to put on with the this hand can be helped in putting more keys like I, O, P, and then if you want to go on with the enter, backspace, print screen, delete, alt, control and everything, numerics and all, you can go with this hand. So basically you should always put your two hands on the keyboard and start working on the Photoshop. So this is the class for today. Today we have learnt about the menu bar, and in the menu bar we have concentratedly learned about the file menu bar. Okay, so guys, please practice this as much as possible so that you can be a professional in upcoming classes. So thank you so much for listening to my class, and hope we'll have a good sessions after this as well. Have a good day, and I'm Kranth Patnaik.